Greetings one and all, and welcome to my kitchen here today, where I'm going to be making the final video of 2021. Today's the 31st of January as I film this, and I'm just going to be having a quiet night here at home, but I'm going to make myself a little bit of a treat. I'm going to make a lobster pizza, homemade. So I'm only making this because they had on special down at one of our local supermarkets, actually, lobster tails, which were extremely inexpensive, so I probably wouldn't do this if they were the usual price. So let's get on with it. Now, as I said, I'm just making this for myself, so this is a recipe for my base, which really only does for one serve. It's I've shown you it before. It's a small pizza, thin base, thin and crispy sort of base, and that's what I like, so that's what I'm doing. And there's no need to make more for myself because it makes a one big serve. So let's get on with it. I've just got a cup of flour, a tablespoon of instant yeast, teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, just a little tiny drizzle, probably about half a tablespoon of olive oil. I've got a third of a cup of water, so I'll just put that in, see how that goes. And all we're doing to start with, we should just want this dough to come together before we turn it out on the bench. And I've got one of those plastic blades in there instead of a normal metal blade. Right, just a drop more water. Perfect. Just out into our floured bench here. Get into a bit of a ball. And I'm just going to knead this for about 10 minutes, a good vigorous kneading. Alrighty, so I've been kneading that away for about 10 minutes. Just rolled into a bit of a ball. Just going to drop it into my bowl there, which I'll put a little bit of olive oil in. And I'm going to run a bit of that up the sides, all over my ball there. We'll just get a cover on that, and I'll leave it for an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. Alright guys, about an hour later, this has started to rise nicely. What I'm going to do now is just punch it down a bit. Let it sit in there again, and I'm just going to let it do like a secondary rise, I guess, maybe another hour or so. Alrighty guys, now just while my pizza base there, the dough's rising for that second time, I just got a bit of butter and some smashed up bits of garlic in that butter, because I thought while I'm waiting for that, I may as well get my lobster tails on. I had to buy these uncooked. I was sort of hoping to buy them cooked, but they didn't have any, so I'm just going to give them a bit of a cook in some butter. And obviously I'm going to be cooking them on the pizza as well, the actual meat, but I just want to give it a little bit of a preliminary cook. So at this stage it doesn't matter if it's not completely cooked, because we'll be finishing it off on top of the pizza. Alrighty guys, so I've just set those lobster tails aside. They look like they're nicely semi-cooked. Now I'm just going to make, next stage for my pizza, I want to make a bit of sort of cheesy, parmesan-y flavoured bechamel garlic sauce for my pizza. garlic, seafood, like goes together really well. So I'm just using the same little fry pan here. All I did was fish out those big clumps of garlic. Now I have added 1 more tablespoon of butter, and I've grated 2 more fresh cloves of garlic into there. And I've turned the heat right down. So we're just on a low heat now. I'm just going to add 1 tablespoon of plain flour. And we just want to cook that out for a little while. Alright, once that flour's been cooking for a little while, I'm going to add just a sprinkle of some dried parsley leaf. So I don't know, perhaps 1/4 of a teaspoon, which will come out. Stir that through. Now next, I've got a cup of milk. We'll just bring that to a simmer. Now that's starting to thicken up really nicely. Again, just make sure the heat's down low, we don't want to burn it. Last thing to add to this is my parmesan. I've got here 1/3 of a cup. And we'll basically just stir that through and then get it off the heat. And that is our garlic parmesan bechamel sauce done. Righty guys, time to check my dough for my pizza. See, it's risen again. So yeah, let's assemble our pizza. So let's squash it down a bit. Now I've shown you my method before, it's pretty basic. I just sort of flatten out my ball and then I just start spinning it around, squeezing out the edges, the middle as I go a bit. And gravity sort of helps as you do it, helps spread it out a bit. I've got my tray here ready to go, which I've just put some olive oil on. Some people sprinkle semolina over it, you can do that if you want to. I just work with what my tried and true method of working. Mine pizzas are very, very rough and ready. I'm no expert at it. I just yeah, make do with what I got. So at a certain point I'll stretch that out. And sort of try and approximately get a circle. I never really do. And it is thin and crispy style. I've got my cheesy bechamel sauce here. Plonk some of that on. And get it right up close to the edges. Now I've taken my lobster tails out of the shell and just sort of cut them into chunks. And it's just as I wanted it, it's just translucent or just cooked through on some of the edges, which is exactly what we wanted. So I'll just sprinkle that over. 2 lobster tails, quite generous for 1 serving. It's New Year's, like I said, it's New Year's Eve. This is my little New Year's Eve treat for myself. I've just got some dried dill. I'm just going to give that a light sprinkling. And last but not least, I've just got some grated mozzarella. I'm not going to go silly with that. like so. I'll preheat my oven to the hottest it gets and we'll whack her in there. Alrighty guys, so as you saw, I've just taken my pizza out of the oven there, sliced her up. Let's check it out. So she looks up close, those bits of lobster. Pastry looks good. Very sort of simple pizza. But really looking forward to it with that garlic bechamel sauce. Alright, let's take a bite. Oh, yum. Ah, that's delicious. Ah, yummy. And yeah, you really get the nice flavour of that lobster coming through the cheeses. Oh, yum, yum. That little hint of dill and parsley. Just, I'm glad I didn't add anything else to it. I was thinking about it. But for me, I like it just the way it is. And that's my New Year's treat. So yeah, Happy New Year to everyone. If you're watching this tomorrow or soon, we've got a few hours to go yet here till midnight. But yeah, I wish you all a great New Year's. Hope it's better than 2021, which has sucked for lots of people. Yeah, and as I said in the last video, thanks to everyone who's watched my videos over the last year or even before that. I really appreciate it. It's you guys that do watch it that give me the momentum to keep doing it, the incentive to keep doing it. There's yeah, that's great. Lots of nice feedback. If you've subscribed to the channel too, I want to thank you for that. If you haven't subscribed yet, can I ask that you hit that subscription button thing and hit that notification bell icon? That'd be great. But if you don't want to, no worries, as I always say. And I'll see you all next time.